How to address weaponized incompetence in a relationship. Me 27 female, him 25 male. My boyfriend and I have been together for about 4 years now. Over the pandemic we started quarantining together, which turned into de facto living together, although we never made a plan, got a lease together, etc. What this turned into is it still often seems like he is a guest in my house instead of living together in our house, and he doesn't take responsibility for household things. He has never once gone grocery shopping, although he orders in a lot. But what really drives me insane is that when he cleans, he doesn't actually make things cleaner, he just moves things around. For instance, if there are clothes scattered around, he will make a neat pile of them. Great. But then I still have to go through the pile and figure out, this is a jacket to hang up, this is dirty and goes in the laundry, this was just worn for an hour and can go back in the closet. He even will pair up dirty socks and place them neatly on top of my dresser in a carefully organized row. He used to do something similar with the dishes. He would spend time neatly stacking all of the dirty dishes next to the sink. Never once washed them, but put them in a neat pile. I talked to him about the dishes and he acted hurt and shocked. He said he was just trying to help, and if I didn't want his help he'd just leave the dishes for me. So now he does. He is a very loving, caring, thoughtful boyfriend in most ways. But this total incompetence around cleaning feels like a deal breaker. I also do not want to take on the responsibility of teaching him to clean. I am not his mommy. And I think his mom is part of the problem. She raised him like a little prince and never expected him to lift a finger around the house. Is there a class he can take? Should I tell him he needs to move out and learn how to clean before he can come back? Or am I wrong and we just have different styles of cleanliness? What should I do? Am I in the wrong for wanting to leave my girlfriend because she doesn't work? Too long didn't read. GF hasn't worked in 2 years and I see no drive from her to find a real job. For more context, we've been together for 6 years and living together for about half of that. I've exclusively taken care of all the pays, not by choice, but because she doesn't work. For the last 2 years, I've been telling her to get a job, but she hasn't been able to. I firmly believe it's because she doesn't want to, or doesn't try hard enough. I'm tired of having all the financial burden on my shoulders from a job I hate with absolutely no help from her at hell. She'll have any excuse to not come up with money. She used to do Uber, but she was embarrassed to do it because people from high school already have their careers and she doesn't want to be seen doing Uber. I've asked her to donate plasma for the compensation they would give her. She doesn't want to because she doesn't feel good after donations. She tells me she applies to jobs daily, but from what I see when we're in the apartment is that she just sits down and watches TikToks for hours on end. She does deal with anxiety and has bipolar disorder, but I deal with anxiety and depression and never use them as a scapegoat to why I can't work and take care of myself. When I tell her she's not trying hard enough, all she does is get offended and defend herself, but I see no effort. She doesn't want to work any real jobs. She goes off on these stupid TikTok get-rich-quick videos she sees. The other day I told her I don't know if I can do this anymore because of the stress of work and her lack of assistance, and she tried to make it seem like I was this horrible guy for wanting to leave her for not being able to help financially for the last 2 years. Best friend, 32 male, thinks I'm 31 male, in love with him I'm not, and he already told other people about it. I'm not a really social person, but I really appreciate my friends. Stuff like checking up on them, bringing coffee or snacks, etc. This guy I met 3 years ago at work quickly became my best friend, so I always try to be there for him. He is straight and I'm gay, married. This was never a problem, or so I thought. Today in a group chat between coworkers, he and a girl were discussing about how I'm secretly in love with him and he's afraid of me trying to get in his pants because I'm always nice to him. When they noticed which chat they were in, they deleted all messages and acted like nothing happened, but everyone saw what they discussed. Now, I don't really care about what people think, but I feel hurt. Like, I consider him a friend, but reading that he is afraid of me makes me feel he's not really thinking of me as a friend but as a predator or some kind of weirdo. I don't really know if I should confront him or simply let it go and limit my interactions to work-related topics. My 31 female husband, 34 male, has a secret side to him that I knew nothing about. Sorry, long word vomit, I'm just lost. I just got married less than 3 weeks ago. He is the love of my life. Literally everything was perfect. He's sweet, doting, caring, sensitive, loving. We are so in love and blissfully in our legitimate honeymoon phase. We've been together for 2 years. Not once in that entire time period did I ever have even an inkling that he might be hiding something from me. Our communication is great, we never fight, we both know each other's passwords to everything. There is nothing to hide. We got our wedding pictures back this week. He has a much better laptop than me, so one morning before work I went on his Gmail to open the pictures email from our photographer. When I opened his Gmail, I saw in the sidebar that he had sent a hangout request to someone whose name I did not recognize. We know everyone in each other's lives, so this was extremely odd to me. I searched the name in his mail search bar and only one email chain came up. 3 messages, one from him, thanking this person for chatting with him the night before, the person responding just saying hey, husband's name, and him emailing them a week later saying, hey, how've you been? New pic today with a selfie attached. This exchange was a month before our wedding. I thought this was very weird. Like, nothing bad was said between them, but where had they spoken previously that he was referring to? And why send a selfie? That implies other pics had been sent, no? I tried not to overthink it. Read, I cried all day at work. He was off that day so I couldn't do anything more but put on a front like nothing was wrong. I absolutely thought about just bringing it up, but I figured if it was nothing at all, he'd be upset I broke his trust by snooping. The next morning, before I went to work and while he was still asleep, I decided to check in his phone. Nothing in messages, no calls, nothing in social media. I knew I was missing something. Finally, buried at the bottom of his list of apps, was a Google Voice app. I clicked it and found what I had been looking for. Tens of messages between him and multiple people, sending nudes, talking about sex in very graphic ways, saying great chatting last night, etc. I couldn't bring myself to look at more than 2 or 3 messages before I shook him awake and handed his phone to him and collapsed onto the floor in sobs. I was absolutely mind-boggled, confused, heartbroken. I let him explain when he asked to. He's been a member on FetLife, which I did not know was a thing, for years. He likened it to Facebook for people with fetishes or who like BDSM stuff. He said he started using it well before he met me, but has continued using it for our entire relationship. He said his use comes in spurts and he can and has gone months at a time without going on. He has difficult sleep patterns which sometimes lead to insomnia bouts, and he said that when this happens, his demons come out, so to speak. He's never met up with anyone from the site, and I believe him for many reasons, but mostly because we are together all the time and he wouldn't have even had the opportunity. We've never had issues in any part of our relationship. Our emotional connection is stronger than any I've ever had. Our sex life is great and regular. I asked him about both of these things yesterday, and he said it wasn't about either of those. His words were, I've had this problem for a long time. I think I wanted you to find out, and I'm relieved that you did. I know he does love me and I know he wants to repair this. He called off work yesterday and we spent the day talking, crying, driving to get our heads clear, just trying to process. I absolutely adore him and I'll do anything to help him in our relationship. I guess I'm having a hard time reconciling the fact that the man I know and this man that I discovered are the same person. My own mind has already separated them and compartmentalized things. I know I do this anytime something terrible happens. I'm grateful my mind has a defense mechanism so I'm not drowning in pain, but I also do not want to pretend like this isn't real or didn't happen. It just feels like there's my husband and then there's this other guy pretending to be my husband. I don't know him. I don't like him. This is so insanely out of character that my mind refuses to even acknowledge that it could be the same person. I don't know where to go from here. He wants to try everything: therapy, schedule and lifestyle changes. Deleted everything, only after asking me if I wanted to see everything or not. He says he wants to be held accountable and he's scared of losing me. I'm scared too and I will absolutely do anything to help. Mentally I'm just lost. I don't know how to feel, what to say, what to think. I'm mad at myself for being so naive and I'm mad at myself for not even considering leaving. He is my love of my life, and I'll do anything and work through anything. I know he wants to change and wants to fix things. I do too. I just don't know where to even begin. I, 23 female, feel bad when my boyfriend, 25 male, spends money on me. I feel bad when my boyfriend spends money on me or buys me things. I have no income right now since I am in law school. My boyfriend has his own business and makes a good amount. I grew up with guilt-tripping parents who never bought me gifts or anything of the sort. They were not depriving me, but they did not really show any kind of appreciation. I did not grow up affluent so I did not expect anything lavish, but even a card on my birthday would have been nice. Fast forward to now, I am in a very loving relationship. We adore each other. My boyfriend always pays for everything, and I offer and sometimes even put down my credit card to pay, but he won't let me. Today is my birthday and he went all out on me. He bought me a Switch and some games, probably all totaling to around $500. And then he took me to the mall to buy clothes and whatnot, which all probably came around to $400. And then of course, dinner. Not to mention, he also pays for my transportation costs to and from school. I've always been so money conscious, and he is too. He saves a lot, invests, and whatnot. But I feel just worried he might be spending too much for me. And he replies, I want to when I say, oh, you didn't have to get this for me. Maybe I'm just money insecure. Or maybe I don't know how to receive gifts. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed and want more.